повітря українська стела. Вас вітає Україна.
Greetings, NAFO dogs. Wayne here.
And Susie beaming to you, nearly live.
From the top secret, definitely real NAFO Langley fake AI news desk.
That's right. Today is Saturday, April 19th, 2025, and we're bringing you the latest intel and developments, pretty much as they happened over the last 24 hours.
Think of it as your frontline briefing.
Exactly.
Now, before we jump into today's in-depth reporting, we have to say it's crucial.
Mm-hmm.
The information we're about to share, it's all based on, currently available reports.
Yeah, stuff can change fast, really fast.
So we really urge you, our listeners, please always practice due diligence, check multiple sources.
What you're hearing now is basically a snapshot in time.
Right. Let's get straight into it then. What's been happening? First up, the Kherson region. Sounds like it's seen a lot of Russian activity.
It really has. Throughout the day yesterday, Kamyashani specifically came under Russian shelling.
Okay.
And unfortunately, reports say a 47-year-old man was injured there.
Right. And this was just one incident.
Well, it was an afternoon attack, but it follows continued reports from the regional military administration. They're saying there's ongoing Russian shelling right across the Kherson region.
So civilians are still under direct attack?
Yes, that seems to be the case. And separately, also in Kherson City, a residential building was hit by Russian forces. Earlier in the day, the village of Vysok, still in Kherson's region, was apparently targeted by Russian drones, caused significant damage to private homes.
Oh, drones too.
Yeah. And tragically, an elderly woman in Zelenivka, again, Kherson region, was injured due to shelling.
It just sounds relentless.
It does. And just to give a sense of the scale, over the past day, Russian forces reportedly attacked 36 different settlements in Kherson.
36.
Yeah, and wounded 9 people in total across those attacks. The shelling also knocked out power in some settlements in the Nadnepryansk Starosta district of the Kherson community.
Okay, so moving north then, what about the Kharkiv region?
Also seeing activity. The residential sector of Kupiansk was hit by Russian airstrikes. A woman was injured there.
Right.
And then later, another enemy attack, again on Kupiansk, injured 5 more people.
5 more. Good grief.
Yeah. So over the whole day, the reports indicate 7 people in the Kharkiv region were either injured or suffered acute stress reactions because of the shelling.
That stress reaction part, that's significant too.
Absolutely. It highlights the psychological impact, not just the physical danger. And just a really tragic update from a previous attack.
Oh.
Remember the strike on Kherson back on April 17th?
Yeah.
A 16-year-old boy who was wounded in that attack. He sadly died in hospital.
Oh no, that's awful news. 16.
Yeah, just devastating.
And the Donetsk region, still intense there.
Very much so. The town of Kostyantynivka was hit by Russian airstrikes, 1 civilian injured there.
Okay.
And overnight, Russian forces reportedly killed 1 civilian and injured 2 others somewhere else in the Donetsk region.
Still casualties every day, it seems.
Pretty much. And the Pokrovsk sector, that continues to be, the hottest area on the entire front line.
Really? How hot are we talking?
Well, get this. On Friday, April 18th, they recorded 162 combat clashes just in that sector.
162 in one day.
In one day, Ukrainian defenders reportedly repelled 54 separate assault and offensive operations within that. It just shows the sheer intensity of the fighting there.
Incredible numbers. Okay, switching gears a bit. Diplomatically, there was talk about an Easter ceasefire announced by President Putin.
Yes, there was. But the reaction has been, let's say, cautious.
How so?
Well, the Italian foreign minister, Antonio Tajani, he said that, any signal for peace is important, obviously.
Sure.
But he added it remains pretty unclear how Russia will actually stick to this short ceasefire.
When is it supposed to start?
It's meant to begin at 6 p.m. Moscow time today, April 19th, and last just until midnight on April 21st.
So a very short window.
Exactly. And President Zelensky has been quite vocal about that. He called for a much longer 30-day truce.
30 days. Right. What was his reasoning?
He basically said 30 hours is enough for headlines, but not for real confidence-building measures. 30 days can give peace a chance.
Makes sense. Headlines versus actual change.
Precisely. And adding to the confusion, there's an unverified report from a senior Ukrainian military officer.
Unverified. Okay. What did it say?
Claimed they received orders to cease fire on Russian positions just minutes after the truce was supposed to have started.
Huh. So immediate questions about whether it's holding, even from the start?
Right. If that report is accurate, it certainly raises doubts.
And speaking of ceasefires, wasn't there a U.S. proposal for a longer one earlier?
Yes, a complete temporary ceasefire for 30 days. And according to Andrei Sibaha, Russia's refusal of that proposal has now lasted for 39 days.
39 days they've been refusing it.
Mm-hmm. Shows how difficult getting a longer pause is. Meanwhile, you have the UK and Italy jointly urging Russia to accept a full ceasefire.
What did they say?
Their statement was pretty clear. Ukraine has committed to a full ceasefire. We urge Russia to do the same.
Putting the onus on Russia there.
Seems like it. And interestingly, the U.S. has reportedly developed some kind of preliminary plan to monitor a comprehensive ceasefire if one is actually achieved.
So planning ahead just in case.
Planning ahead, yeah. Contingency, perhaps?
Okay, well, amidst all this, there is some genuinely positive news, right? The prisoner swap.
Yes, absolutely. A really significant development. Another 277 Ukrainian warriors are home.
277. That's fantastic.
Returned from Russian captivity in a prisoner swap. It includes defenders from Mariupol, other areas in Donetsk, Kherson, Zaporizhia, Luhansk.
Wow. A lot of different fronts represented.
Yes. And the Security Service of Ukraine, the SSU, they actually released some exclusive footage of the individuals being freed.
Oh, that must be powerful to see.
I imagine so. And it sort of lines up with Sky News had reported before this that a swap was expected before Easter.
Yeah.
They mentioned maybe 246 POWs from each side, plus some injured soldiers. So this seems to be in that ballpark or even larger.
Good. That's really good news. And international support continues in other ways, too.
Definitely. Just between April 14th and 18th, Ukraine got 11 shipments of humanitarian aid specifically for the energy sector.
Energy sector is vital. Where did that come from?
Lithuania, Poland, and Belgium. Shows that specific targeted aid is still flowing.
Mm-hmm.
Discussions about future financial support are ongoing, too. Though, interestingly, Germany is apparently holding back on commenting about future social assistance for Ukrainian refugees under whatever the next government might be.
Okay, something to watch there. Any other diplomatic moves?
Yeah, the Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, and the U.S. Vice President, J.D. Vance, they met in Rome on Friday.
Oh, right. Vance was there.
And they discussed efforts for, quote, a just peace in Ukraine. So high-level talks continue.
And we also saw a U.S. congressman actually visiting the front lines.
We did. Brian Fitzpatrick. He's co-chair of the Congressional Ukraine Caucus.
Right.
He went right up near the Russian border, and there was footage of him signing an artillery shell.
With a message for Putin, I heard.
That was the report, yes. A symbolic gesture, for sure. He also encouraged his colleagues in Congress to visit the front line, too.
To see it for themselves.
Presumably, yes. To get that firsthand perspective.
Okay. What about developments within Ukraine? Any notable appointments or projects?
A few things. President Zelensky promoted Colonel Vitaly Levchenko to brigadier general.
Okay.
And appointed him head of the military law enforcement service of the armed forces. So internal military structuring.
Mm-hmm.
On the economic side, there's a joint investment fund being set up between Ukraine and the U.S.
What's the focus?
Supporting both mineral resource development and infrastructure projects. kind of a long-term view.
Right, looking beyond the immediate crisis.
Exactly. And related to that, negotiations about a subsoil agreement between Ukraine and the U.S. apparently clarified that U.S. aid given during the war won't be treated as debt.
Oh, that's a big deal for the future.
Absolutely. And one more thing on the ground, demining. It's a huge issue.
Huge. Dangerous work.
Very. So a Croatian company, DOKANG, has started its first project for short-term lease of demining equipment in Ukraine, bringing in some specialized gear.
Good to see that expertise coming in. Okay, finally then, the air war. What did the Ukrainian Air Force report?
Right. So overnight, on April 19th, they reported shooting down 33 out of 87 Russian drones.
33 out of 87. What happened to the others?
Well, they said another 36 just disappeared from radar.
Disappeared. Interesting.
Yeah. So a significant number dealt with, but still a large attack.
Yeah.
And the impact on the ground. Rescuers from the State Emergency Service were putting out fires caused by Russian strikes in the Sumy region overnight and this morning.
Okay.
And farms down in the Odessa region also suffered damage from Russian missile attacks late Friday night.
So strikes continuing across multiple regions. Sumy, Odessa.
Yes, hitting different parts of the country.
Okay, wow. That's a lot to take in from just the last 24 hours.
It really is. Intense fighting, especially in the east, the diplomatic back and forth around the truce, the vital international support, and then that glimmer of hope with the prisoner exchange.
It really paints a complex picture.
Definitely. Battlefield, diplomacy, humanitarian aid, it's all happening at once.
Well, this has been our in-depth reporting from the NAFO Langley Fake AI News Desk for Saturday, April 19th, 2025, covering those developments over the last 24 hours.
And just to repeat, remember, these are currently available reports, often unverified. We always urge you to stay informed and check verified sources.
Absolutely. Until our next broadcast, stay strong. Keep digging for the truth.
Slava Ukraine.
Heroyam Slava.
Signing off.
From the NAFO Langley Fake AI News Desk.
Mommy, I love you so much, I miss you so much, I can't even express it. 3 years I spent in prison, Mom, I endured everything, I held on. Mom, I will come soon myself, everything will be fine. Please wait for me.